Hey everyone, welcome back in for another video. So today we're talking about the Horus Heresy scale comparison. I wanted to bring this picture up, and this is from A Tale of Painters. I'm going to link this in the description, so if you want to take a look at it, you can. But I thought it was just interesting when we're talking about the scaling up of the new models. So they've got the Mark 6 here on both rows to show the difference in size. And the Mark 6 is the same size as the new, like the Chaos Space Marine models, which I think they're a good size for scaling for the game, right? Like they're bigger than the Cadian shock troopers, right? Which is what they should be. And going back, I think it's interesting when you talk about like the Mark 6, Mark 7 armor, where in terms of sizing, it looks like it's just a Cadian shock trooper in armor. And I always thought that as a kid, I was like, the scaling of this is really badly done. But whatever, I'm painting Marines, I'm having a good time, right? Didn't really matter. But with the Primaris Marines and the scaling that happens now, I feel as though, especially if you've got an older Horus Heresy army, you've got a lot of those forge-rolled models that are based off of the Mark 4, Mark 5 sets that first came out with Horus Heresy when it started. They look very small in comparison to the Mark 6. And it's just, for me, it just is weird. My favorite mark of armor is the Mark 3. And I, in the back of my head, was hoping they would do a scaled up version of it that was the same size as the Mark 6, but now that they've brought out the new box sets with the new cover art, there's no way that's happening for a very long time. So I'm just kind of left out there being like, oh well, because I love using the Mark 3 shoulder pads, backpacks, and helmets for conversions on my 40k stuff. But the bodies, again, I think are the coolest looking armor, but it's just the size I've never gotten into Horus Heresy, and that's kind of why it was just, they're just, just a bit too small for me. But the Mark 6 is a scale that I can kind of get behind now. And it also, obviously, the cost with Forge World, it was too much. But with the new box set coming out and all the hype that's going on with Horus Heresy, I thought it was important just to talk about the scaling. Because I know that some old Horus Heresy players, again, are not very happy with what they've done. But it's just over time. But it's funny when you see it in the microcosm, because the Horus Heresy came out, like, it's not that old of a game, and now they're upscaling it so quickly, really, where with Warhammer 40,000, the scaling's been happening over such a longer period of time of kind of slow increments, because people lose it when you scale at the Marines. Apparently, they just lose their marbles. But I'm for it. Again, I like the Primaris Marines. I think they're the proper scale that it should have been. Again, the introduction of the Primaris Marine, I think, could have been done differently, but, it is what it is at this point. But I use those as the basis that everything else should be scaled off of Primaris Marines now, right? So let me know in the comments what you think of the upscaling of Horus Heresy. Does it matter? Am I looking too deeply into this, or are you someone who has an older Horus Heresy army who's concerned about them scaling everything up, and how your army is going to look on the table when fighting these newer armies? If you're not already subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I'm interested on this one, though, to see what happens in the comments, just because it's been kind of all over the place with a lot of people not caring and a lot of people being very upset, which is kind of a weird way to go about it with the two opposites. I feel like there's not very many people who are on the fence about it and who are like, whatever, where it's just, no, it's good, or no, it's bad. Again, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I'll see everybody soon.